Squale everyone! Welcome to Nanaimo Foodshare's instructional video for the Garden in a Box program. Enta Elise Boulanger. I am also a garden facilitator, and today we are behind the Nanaimo Foodshare building on Pine Street on the traditional territory of the Nanaimo. So today I am going to show you all of the different materials required to make your own garden in a box, as well as some of the tools required, and then some suggestions of other materials you can use for your own classroom. So let's begin. Given that this program is designed for classrooms that don't have direct outdoor access to gardens, we need everything to be contained, and that is why we need our boxes. So I'm going to show you the materials. Here we have a clear plastic box that we will then drill holes in the bottom. It also comes with a blue Rubbermaid container, and that is to hold the clear plastic box in.
The compost thermometer, a vermicompost bin, sterile topsoil, magnifying glasses, sea soil, thermometers, a scale, watering bottles, sand, perlite rock, digging spoons, and your garden in a box bins.
Now, the different components that we will be mixing together to create the soil include some garden soil, some compost. The two that I have here, you can use whatever type of compost though. I have a mushroom compost as well as a sea soil compost. And then I have some perlite, as well as some sand. And you can use either perlite or sand, just so you know. So we use the garden soil as that's like the big medium that both hydrates the plants and keeps them insulated, keeps them warm. We use the composts in order to provide nutrients to our plants once they have passed the true leaf stage, after they've popped from the seed. And then we use the perlite or sand in order to help with drainage. So those are the main materials needed. Now on to the tools. With me today I have a drill. With a drill bit, of course. I have some gloves in case you don't want to put your hands in the soil. I have some PPE such as glasses, some ear coverings. Then there are some additional materials that you can use if you want. These include a tarp to keep floors clean and for soil exploration, a magnifying glass, a ruler, a thermometer, and a UV light bulb / lamp. We're happy to support you in the process of creating your garden in the box. So if you do have any questions about anything, please don't hesitate to contact us. We're happy to help you. So before me here, I have an already created garden in the box. You'll notice that the clear lid is on top of the clear box, and that the clear box with the lid is in the blue Rubbermaid container. Now it fits really tight, so pulling them apart, you'll need a couple people to make that happen. But again, this is just in the blue one so that any excess water that comes out of the drilled holes we will put in the bottom of the clear box can leave. So now I'm going to walk through all of the steps in order to create your own in-class garden in the box. All right, so the first step, I'm just gonna remove the lid. I'm going to take the clear bottom, flip it, put it on a stable surface. Now is the time to put on your personal protective equipment, some ear protection. And then I have my drill. So just place one of your hands firmly down in order to stabilize it. And then you have to be careful when drilling these boxes. With the first one I made, I began to make little cracks, and that's because I was putting too much pressure. So just make contact and then gently push into the clear box. No cracks with that one because I was gentle, and then the little curls pop out. It's kind of windy, so I'm just going to put them in my pocket today. I find that it's best to do this in a warmer environment. So I made the first one indoors and then the second one outdoor now, and it cracks less if you make it indoors. Okay, so that is that. We are now done with the drill. I'm just gonna pick off the excess little plastic curls here that we've created. That's what the bottom looks like. So I put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. As you see though, but essentially the most important thing is that there's equal drainage opportunities. I'll just flip it back right and swipe out the extra curls with my fingers. Here we go. Okay, so that's that. Now before I add my different types of substrates, I'm going to put it in the bottom of the Rubbermaid container. Now the soil can get really heavy, and given that this program is for younger grade school students, you want to ensure that 2 grade 3s can carry this by themselves. So just be careful with how much weight you are putting it in with your soil. I'm going to put my gloves back on just because it's kind of mucky. Okay, so it doesn't really matter which order you put these different substrates into the box because we will be mixing them with our hands after. I'm just gonna start closest to me though. We like garden soil because it is a medium for the seeds to be in as well as the roots to push down through. This is already quite hydrated, which is good. It's kind of why it was heavy, right? It's kind of chunky, as you see, so you might just want to crumble it up with your fingers. That way it's easier for the roots to navigate. And it's easier with drainage of water as well. Okay, good. Next is the sand, and again, you can use either sand or you can use perlite. I'm gonna use a mix of both just because they're both here. And again, sand or perlite is good because it helps with drainage since the substance is so small. Okay, onwards. I'm gonna continue with the drainage substrates. So I'm gonna add a little bit more perlite. Now, if you have never heard, it's really light and fluffy. See how some of it blew away? So if you have never heard of perlite, basically what it is, it's heated clay, and it's kind of squishy like a sponge. You can kind of hear it compress under the pressure of your fingertips. And perlite's great because in addition to helping with drainage, as sand does, it also holds moisture. It's like a little squeezy sponge. The amount of the soil, the amount of the sand / perlite, the amount of compost, it's basically like an even ratio of 1 to 1 to 1. Some plants, they want more drainage, and so you have to do a little bit of research about whichever plant you are planting in your box. Now I'm on to the compost section. This is the fish compost. It's pretty easy to find around here. And then this is the mushroom compost. And it's way darker, right? It's really rich in nutrients. And it's essential for plants to have those nutrients in order to be healthy and strong. For as they grow, they eat them up to create their body. And then throughout their life, they'll need to have more compost, more nutrients. So that's just what it looks like before the mixing process. It's not too bad. And you have to remember that there's no water in here. So once we do add the water, then it will make it heavier. So just with my hands, I'm just gonna mix it. If you want to wear a mask, because the perlite is kind of dusty, you can totally do that. We definitely all have those available now. Really get your hands in there. Some of the materials are heavier than the others. You can squeeze some of those excess chunks that may be in there as well. And again, the reason why we put the clear box in the blue box is so that you are able to maybe pull it out a bit or see the root growth penetrate down, as well as other life that is growing in your garden in a box. Okay, so I think that's like a pretty good weight for 2 grade 3 students, so I'm gonna leave it there. But again, you can add more depending on, maybe you'll have 4 students who want to do it together, right? Okay, I'm gonna put it back up. Okay, now we also have our reused water beverage container. This lid, it's pretty thin, the plastic. And so just using a push pin for a cork board, for example, works totally fine. So just poke it in, pull it out. Do several holes because you want the water to flow out of it. And again, this is going to be a watering can. Okay, this looks pretty good here. So yeah, you'll just fill this up with water and then kind of squeeze it on. An important tip is you want your soil to be the dampness of a wrung out sponge. So that's a great test to check, and it's a fun one and kind of an easy one for kids to remember too. It definitely helps me, that's for sure. Okay, now you'll have your choice of what seeds you want to put in here, and maybe your students have ideas of things that they really want to plant or sow. I'm going to put the lid back on. You might be asking, oh, why didn't Elise drill holes into the top? And that's because we are using the lid to create a mini greenhouse. And so by keeping the lid on, we are creating a more moist mini ecosystem for the plants to grow. And we're also making it warmer so that they can be happier and cozy. And yeah, this is a complete garden in the box. And hope you have fun making these with your kids.